Now, sometimes we have a hard time seeing the obligation in ourselves because we think that we did everything good. Initially, he told me, listen, but I'm such a nice guy. I gave tzedakah to people. I didn't steal from anyone. I was really nice to people. I say thank you. I open door to every girl that walks, even if I don't have to go there. I'm a nice guy after all. I said, maybe you're nice to people, but to your Father in heaven that gave you everything, you're an enemy. You're an ungrateful enemy. Why? He gave you Shabbat. What do you do instead of honoring it? You violate it. Openly. Not even in secret. So he's giving you Parnassah, and what are you doing? Using that money against him. So it's hard sometimes for us to see the fault in ourselves. We like to blame God. Why did God do this to me? Why did God do this to me? And the reality is, Rabotai Yekarim, anyone that takes just a few minutes to think about the things that are happening in their life, the difficulties that are happening in life, you will always arrive at the conclusion. If you're an honest person, if you're intellectually honest, you will always arrive at the conclusion that everything is our fault. Which means that we can fix it. If it's Hashem's fault, there's nothing you can do anyway. What are you going to tell Hashem what to do? He's Hashem. He doesn't work for you. If it's our fault, that means we can fix it. But sometimes we lie to ourselves. And before we start the questions, I'll give you a little small example that maybe will make a few of you laugh. There was one time an old man that wanted to buy his wife a present. You know, as you get older, the presents get stranger and stranger. You know, in the beginning, when you first meet your wife, you first get married, every week you get flowers, every birthday you remember 3 days ahead, you have jewelry, you have this, you have that, time goes by, oh, it's your birthday, you forget the birthday. Oh, it's your birthday today, oh, Mazal Tov, oh, honey, yeah, of course I remember, I was just kidding, I want to see if you remember. I want to see if you remember. After a while, it's like, honey, my birthday passed 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I know, but come on, I'm going to celebrate you getting older, honey. I love you. That's why. I don't want to remind you that you're getting older, honey. After all, no, come on. What kind of husband do you think I am? Sometimes you get older, things change, but you're really supposed to not. It's not supposed to be. The passion is supposed to be, according to the Torah, just as good after 60 years as it is after 6 months. A person that learns the real rules of the Torah, how you're supposed to treat your wife, ishto kegufo. And you see some of the tzaddikim, the way they treated their wife, you would swear they just got married 2 days ago. 85 years old, still walking around like they're mamash little lovebirds. They talk to each other in little ways, and they, flirt with each other in certain ways. Not in front of people, you see, behind the scenes, you see how people are. But one time, this old man wanted to buy his wife a present. He says, what am I going to buy? You know what? Lately, she hasn't been hearing well. So I'm going to buy her a hearing aid. I'll buy her a hearing aid. That's what he wants to buy her for her birthday. I want to buy her a hearing aid. So he goes to the store. He goes, yeah, I want to buy my wife a hearing aid. And the guy's like, okay, so bring her in. He goes, no, it's a surprise. What kind of surprise is it if I bring her? He goes, well, I don't know what kind of, how to measure it, what kind of hearing aid it's going to be, how deaf she is, I have to know. He goes, yeah, but I can't bring her. What do I do? He's like, okay, listen, go home. And as soon as you get to the home, say hi to your wife and see if she hears you. If not, get a little closer. See if she hears you. Get a little closer, and so on and so forth. We'll see how deaf she is, basically. Based on how far you can talk to her from. Okay, fine, no problem. So he goes home, opens the door. Good afternoon, Shoshana, how are you? Nothing. Okay. He gets a little closer, another 5-6 feet. Shoshana, good afternoon. How are you? What'd you make for lunch? Nothing. Another 5-6 feet. If you could give her a hand, please. Another 5-6 feet. Shoshana, good afternoon. What'd you make for lunch? Nothing. Wow, I didn't know she was that deaf. Another 10 feet. Shoshana, good afternoon. What'd you make for lunch? Quiet. Now he's already in the kitchen. She's at the kitchen. He's right behind her. Shoshana, how are you? Nothing. He goes right behind. Shoshana, how are you? What'd you make for lunch? She turns around. Soup! Soup! 500 times I'm telling you I'm making soup. Can't you hear? Meaning he's the one that needs the hearing aid, not her. He's saying Shoshana, she's responding, he can't hear. That's us sometimes. That's us. We think that everybody else needs hearing aids. We think everybody else has a problem. Everybody else is at fault. Hashem is at fault. He's responsible. He did this. He did that. And the reality is, Rabotai Yekarim, En Adam Roeh Chova Be'atzmo. Gemara Masechet Shabbat says, no person sees the obligation in himself. What's the cure? Torah. The Torah is going to be the mirror. You look at the Torah, you see what the instructions are. You compare those instructions to your life, and you're going to start seeing that you're straying away from the instructions. Once you start repairing a few things, you fix this one, you fix that one, you fix this one, you start seeing that some of these problems start going away. All of a sudden, the problems turn into doors. Doors you never knew imagined. And Baruch Hashem, you see miracles in your life day and night. And in general, your life turns into a fantastic Kiddush Hashem. Not because you don't have problems. You have problems. But you also have the solutions. Living a life with Torah is like taking a test with open book. Remember in school, well for me it's I have to remember, you guys who were in school just last year, sometimes the teacher says, okay, we're going to have an open book test. That's like pretty much saying, listen, I'm going to give you all the answers, but I have nothing else to do, so just fill out the answers. That's what an open book test is. You have the answers in front of you. That's life with Torah. If you actually know Torah, you learn Torah, you comply with the Torah, it's like living life on open book policy. Why? Every problem you have, you're going to get problems. There's going to be equations. There's going to be complications. But all you got to do is look at the book. If you don't know how to look at the book, get a chacham. Get a rabbi that knows how to look at the book. Not a rabbi that just wants money. Rabbi knows how to look at the book. Give you guidance. Give you things based on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That, Rabotai Yekarim, is one of the most important things that I found out in my life. Baruch Hashem, before it was too late, but definitely after a lot of pain. And I can tell you that finding the answers was by far the greatest thing that I've experienced in my life. When I first started doing Teshuva, I started asking so many questions. I didn't realize I had so many questions. The more answers I got, the more questions I would have. And then I would ask more questions, and I got more answers. And I wrote every little bit of it down. And from the day that I started learning with my Rav, years ago, since that day, every time we talk, there's always a notebook in front of me. This is not my only notebook. I have a bunch of these. I have a whole library in my house, Baruch Hashem, of notebooks, of all the questions, all the answers. I watch, we learn, you have some of his shiurim, he has, Baruch Hashem, almost 1,000 shiurim online. Each one of the shiurim, I'm there also. I'm watching also. Sometimes I'm actually part of the shiur. Sometimes I'm just watching it like everybody else. But I don't watch it like everybody else. Why? I'm with a notebook. And sometimes I'll watch the same shiur, even till this day, when I'm extremely busy, and there's thousands of people all over the world that need my attention, and need guidance, and need this, and need that. I'll still watch the shiur 2, 3, 4 times sometimes. To watch a half-hour shiur sometimes will take me 3, 4 hours. Why? I need to know the answer, but I also need to commit it to memory. And I need to commit it to my life. So when you understand that something is valuable, you take it more seriously. And that's why I always recommend for people that if you're going to learn serious Torah, you have to take it seriously. You have to write down things. And that's why the Gemara says in Masechet Brachot, when you go to a lecture, the main schar, the main reward that you're going to get is going to be schar alicha. It's going to be the reward for you going there. So the Chachamim say, wait, but what about being there? What about listening to the lecture? So the Gemara says, if it's a real lecture, if it's a real shiur Torah by a real Chacham, most likely you're not going to remember 90% of what he said. And even the 10% that you remember, you're going to remember like parts of it. Sometimes you're going to be confused with certain things. But Hashem wants to give you the full reward. The one thing you're going to remember is how long it took you to get there. 15 minutes, 15 hours, 3. In those days, they used to go 3, 4 days on the road just to go to a shiur Torah. And a shiur Torah would be 3, 4 days sometimes, straight. You're going to get the full schar, the full reward for going there. Why? Because you can't get the full reward for something you don't remember. But if you write it down, if you commit it, if you review it, if you study the shiur, if it's a serious shiur, you study the shiur, like you're studying for literally a life test, that's going to help you not only use that shiur the way you're supposed to, but also get a lot more reward and a lot more answers in your life.
את הרבנים. רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.